and welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 9 down to 4, and here on my channel we talk all things homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. Today's video, we're going to talk about our kids' chores and how we run that in our household. So this video is a collaboration hosted by Anna at Just Making It Work. If you are unfamiliar with Anna, go check out her channel. I think you will find it very uplifting and encouraging. She shares lots of things about how they make it work at their house with a large family. So thank you, Anna, for hosting this video today. So let's get into how chores work at our house. So we have not done a great job about doing this over the years, starting from they're really young to getting when they're now 9, 7, 6, and 4. But we are putting that into practice. That was actually one of my goals for the month of October, is to get a good chore system going and put it into practice. And so I have a few resources that I am using, and kind of I will walk you through like what's gone well since we've started using this, and then what I'm going to change, and then how we figure out who's going to do what specific chores. So first thing that I did is I made on Canva, I have the free version of Canva, so I went on and searched chore chart on Canva, and this is one that came up, and it was fairly plain Jane, and I tweaked it and did a few things. So this says Amelia's chore chart. Everyone has one. I'll show you all the other ones in just a minute, but everyone has one that is color coded to their color, so they know which one is theirs, even for my little ones that are having trouble reading or knowing what thing says, but they have older siblings that tell them everything they need to know, so not too worried about that. So I just left this very open-ended. I didn't want to go in and type any chores because I wanted this to be something that we could change from week to week, month to month, just as the seasons of our life flowed. I wanted their chores to be able to change as we needed it to, just in case I gave them something that might have been a little too hard for them, or something that was too easy, or we needed something else done that week versus what they had done the week before. I just wanted to leave it very open-ended, and I did Monday through Saturday. Sunday I let them rest, and we have a rest day. So this is the chore part here, and then also down here at the bottom I put daily task, just some things I wanted us to get in the habit of doing, some things that I noticed that were not being done, that I was constantly having to stay on top of them and remind them about. I turned it into a daily habit, so they check this off every day, and then we erase it at the end of the day. So on here I have brush teeth, put clothes in the laundry basket, and take plate to the sink. So I want them to really get in the practice of brushing their teeth daily, twice a day if we can, but at least once a day. And then picking up their clothes, because as you can imagine, in a house with 6 kids, or sorry, not 6 kids, in a house of 6 people, if 4 kids lay their clothes all over the place and don't pick their clothes up and put them in the laundry basket, you can imagine what our bathroom and what our living room and bedrooms look like. It can get messy in a flash. So I really want the kids to be responsible for their own stuff. And then the last one is to take their plate to the sink. So I want them to be able to take their dirty dishes that they ate off of, break it off in the trash, and put it in the sink. I'm not asking them to load the dishwasher. I just want them to take up their spot, take care of their place at the table. So these things, those daily habits, will change as we kind of get in the habit of doing those, and then we'll put more on it. And then the last thing over here is rewards. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with that, but I knew I wanted to put a reward system, and I wanted them to know what it was that they were working towards. So this past week they were working towards Dairy Queen. So they did all their chores like they were supposed to. So this coming week we're going to get a reward of Dairy Queen. So each week that will change. It just depends on what we want to do. I've also thought about putting in like a ticket system. I know of several friends here on YouTube and Instagram that do that as well. So that might be something that we put into practice, but I wanted to leave it just very open-ended so it could be easily changed, and I didn't have to go in and constantly change this. So how we use this. So we put these in on our refrigerator. And so the reason why chores have not worked for us in the past is because the kids have fallen off on them, and I have fallen off on following behind them. And y'all all know with your kids, if you do not follow through and check up on them, they're not going to do what you want them to do, no matter whether it says it on their chart or not. So I would get lax and I would not follow through. So I figured if I put it in a place that I saw every day, um, that I would be more apt to remind them, hey, have you taken out the trash today? Have you gone and fed the animals today? Have you swept the floor today? And just go down the list and remember of what I got them, of what I assigned to them. So this lives on the refrigerator in our house. I've had these for a while, but these like pocket, I don't know what you call them, but they're like the laminated pockets that you can slide papers down in. I got these at Target during the back to school season when they had them at their dollar spot. And so I have one for each of our children. Y'all have probably heard me talk about this a million times, but our kids are color coded. So we have pink, green, blue, and purple. Everybody knows what their color is, and so that's how I did their chore charts. And I bought some command hooks and put them on the refrigerator. I could have used magnets, but we have a stainless steel front to our refrigerator, and I didn't want the kids scratching the front of our refrigerator with the magnets. And the way our refrigerator is like boxed in, so you can't see the side or anything like that. And I did not, because I didn't want to put holes in the wall to hang these up on the wall, because we are in a temporary house. We may be moving in 6 months or a year or so, and I didn't really want to put holes in the wall just for that shorter time, but I also didn't want to damage the front of the refrigerator. So I got the command hooks where you can pull the tab and it should come off easy. And it works really well for hanging these up on the refrigerator so that they can see them. As far as writing on them and checking them off, I didn't want to use a dry erase marker because I didn't want the kids to accidentally erase what I wrote on their chart for them to do, and then we can remember what we did. And so I used these Expo wet erase markers, and they've worked really well. So my oldest daughter even went as far as to finding a color, because we have a multicolor pack, of finding the color for everybody and putting it with their charts. And she just kind of like clipped it on the front right here so that they could check off, color code. She is my child. So anyway, I'm just going to go over what each kid is doing. My husband and I sat down, I guess it was last week, a couple of weeks ago, and try to decide what each kid was capable of doing and what we could expect for them to do. We wanted to start small and then slowly build up to them having more responsibilities. So let's start youngest to oldest. So our youngest is 4. This is Benjamin. He decided to doodle on his, so I have not cleaned it off. I've got to I would take it out of this. I'm sorry, my ring light is going to show a glare. I'm going to try to hold it so it doesn't. But I would take it out, but that it would be blank and you wouldn't see what I put there for him. So for him, I have unload the dryer, which is something that he can do. He takes the clothes out of the dryer and puts them on my bed, and I fold them. And then he teams up with his sister to unload the dishwasher. So she gives him the silverware and he sorts the silverware, and then she does the other things that she can do. There are a few things that I have to help them with that they're not quite tall enough to reach in the cabinets, but they know just to put that on the counter and say, hey mom, can you please put these away? So he did more than 2 days, but we just forgot to, being the baby, he didn't get all of his stuff marked off. And then down here at the bottom, it says make sure that your room is clean before bed. That's another practice that I really wanted them to get into doing, is to make sure that their floor is picked up before we go to bed. So we kind of start the next day on a clean slate. So those are his 2 chores. Like I said, he's 4, so I'm not expecting a whole ton out of him. As we go on and see more things that need to be done, we'll definitely add to this. Like I said, I wanted to keep it very open-ended so I could change things as we went along. So next is Amelia. She is 6. Her chores are to feed Noah and to vacuum 1 day per week. and also make sure that her room is clean before bed. And then she, of course, has all of her daily tasks down here as well. So I had a hard time kind of figuring out like what is something that they could do that was on their own that didn't really need my help with. So these were her two that she could do on her own and did not need my help with. There are some things that she does alongside me that she will come help me in. She will help me fold the clothes. That's not on her list because that's more my responsibility. I realize at some point I will hand that over to the girls, but like I said, we're starting small and working up. So our oldest daughter is 7, and so her chores have been clean off the table. So this is after breakfast, her after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she is responsible for making sure after everybody has taken their plates from the table, making sure that the table gets wiped down and that the table is clear. And especially in the morning, she's in charge of making sure that the table is ready for school. So that means that it's wiped down, there's no crumbs on the table, and that she will get everybody's schoolwork out and place it on the table. She, like I said, is helping her little brother unload the dishwasher. So that's a tip if I have anything, is pair a older kid with a younger kid. Whereas, we don't have a big, huge age gap in our kids. Our kids are, there's 4.5 years from top to bottom. So it, as far as like having the buddy system and all, it doesn't kind of work in our family, but it still can. Not as well as if we had like upper elementary and teenagers working with littles. So, and then her next one that she does is to make sure that the floor is swept. And then she has making sure the room is clean before bed. They all share the same room right now, so this is kind of a collective thing that they all have to do together, as well. And then it looks like Jameson has a ton of stuff on here. He's the oldest, he's 9. His job is to make sure that the animals are fed every morning. So we have pigs and chickens. The next thing he has to do is to load the washing machine and to load the dryer. So he loads the washing machine, and then when the clothes are done, he goes and takes the clothes from the washing machine, puts them in the dryer, and then his little brother goes and puts the stuff from the dryer into the washing machine. So kind of a buddy system there as well. We only have one bathroom in our house, and so therefore we only have one toilet. And since the boys cannot seem to ring the hole, I have put them on toilet duty. So he got a good lesson in how to clean the toilet, and it is his job to clean the toilet once per week. And then the next thing that he is to do is to walk Noah. So Noah has started to want to run away from our yard in the mornings, and when he goes out, we can't just like let him go have free range anymore, since he has now become a teenage dog. So he wants to wander, and so we've had to put him on a leash. So that's another thing. And then we kind of added last minute was to take out the trash. So whenever the trash can gets full, that's not a daily task, which it can be here in our house, but it's kind of an every other day thing. He is to take the trash out, and then he's also got to make sure his room is clean as well. So that's just kind of a rundown of the chores that we have for our kids. There's some changes now that I've used this for a couple of weeks. What are some changes that I am going to make to this chart? So I'm going to leave the top the same. I think what I'm going to do is take away the rewards, and we're going to do that a little bit differently. Maybe have them earn some tickets or earn something, or maybe just I'll tell them at the beginning of the week, this is what you're working towards that day. I don't think it needs to be written on here. We can write it on our message board or something, and then put this as to like our weekly task, because they were getting confused on, hey, well, Mom, what day do you want me to vacuum? And what day do you want me to clean the toilet? I went with, I don't really care what day you do it, as long as you do it. Well, for a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, that kind of doesn't really work. They liked this structure. So I am going to think of a weekly task for each of them to do. Like I said, 2 of them already have that assigned to them, and then we're going to give the other 2 a weekly task. And then I'm going to change this to say daily habits. So just kind of habit forming on there as well. Some little tweakings, things that you find that you need to tweak as you go on. Just because you put a system into place does not mean it's concrete by any stretch of the imagination. Things are always ebbing and flowing here in our house. So I'm not sure if that really gave any tips as like what you could do for your family, but this is what we do in our family. It's worked fairly well for the last couple of weeks that we have used it, and we will continue to use it from now on out. They got a really they got kind of competitive, and I didn't mean it to be this way, but they got competitive in like, oh, I have more check marks than you. And I tried to explain to them, just because somebody has more check marks doesn't mean they're going to get more ice cream. But anyway, such is life. So this is just a look of what chores look like in our family. I hope it was helpful. Thank you, Anna, for hosting this collab. Check out the playlist down below. And I thank you so much for tuning in each and every week to our videos. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up.